Welcome to another episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. I'm your host, Garie, and I'm here with my wonderful, super chill co host, Danielle, who's not super chill today because she has thoughts and opinions about this book. Danielle, say hello.
Hello, listeners. I did have strong
uh, for
feelings about this book.
For this episode, we read Craft Stories I Wrote for the Devil by Amanda Lima. She is a Brazilian um, born author. And we have some takes, but first we're going to start off with a bit of a summary, and Danielle will provide that to the best of her ability.
Right, so stories I wrote for the devil, that is literal. So our author here, she starts us off with a story where she sleeps with the devil. And from there, we get a series of short stories that after each short story we get a little bit of a meta story that kind of follows along this writer's trajectory, and she keeps encountering the devil at different points in her life, so kind of threads the needle there with that, her relationship with the devil, and her craft sort of weaves its way throughout her career in life. There are, I want to say about 9 or 10 stories,
I think it's nice.
different lengths, some really short, some a little bit longer, a little more fleshed out, but they're all very unique. A couple of them get into the weirds, kind of abstractness, but nothing too spooky. I think that was one thing I think we were both hoping for, was a little bit more of a spook factor, given that it is October. But that's okay. Nonetheless, I think it's a very diverse collection, and I think there were a lot of different themes that were presented. I'll say that. I didn't hate the book, but I I don't know that I would have finished it had we not been doing this podcast.
I think because we briefly talked about it, and we had similar thoughts on it. It just it just felt incomplete. It felt like roadblock, like a writer's block to me. A lot of the
Yeah.
times, like I was like, I feel like you really have a good story that you want to flesh out, but you're not doing that.
See, because it's short stories, right?
Hmm.
So I feel like there's different ways that you can go about short stories. They can all be different, like not related at all, just a collection of stories. This book, however, you can correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere around the middle, I felt like part of it was sort of like a novel. Like you had the first half being just its own unique story, and then there would be this break, and it would go back to the writer.
Oh, like the meta
Yeah,
situation
yeah.
where it's
I
about
didn't.
writing.
So I felt like not only did I not know how each half was connected within the chapter,
Yeah,
I also just got a little confused because it wasn't clear to me until later that perhaps each of those second parts were related. And so I
what do you
felt
mean?
like, so like, I don't know. So like the stories
Did you get a
here.
hardcover?
Let me just give you a what?
Did you get a hardcover?
That's what they ordered for me. This was all they had.
Oh gosh.
I mean, they didn't have any, so I was like, you could order it. They didn't give me a choice. So like the parts, each story, I felt. So each story it has like the name. Like this one is
Right,
Rapture.
the first one.
But halfway through each story, or at some point, the story would end, and then there would be this thing,
Thing, yeah,
and that was like a continuation.
of like the middle, like the meta story.
Correct, which I
Yeah,
didn't really realize that until much later because it just didn't feel like it flowed for me. And then there were some of the stories felt similar to the meta.
yeah.
So then I was like, wait a minute. It didn't. And, I don't think it takes like, you don't have to be like super smart, but I guess I wasn't paying attention to it enough in that way to like get
Pick
that
that up.
until way later.
No,
And
I
so
think
then by that time I had forgotten a whole bunch of stuff and I'm like, I don't know, I don't care. Like
I think the book, I liked the meta piece of it, and similar to you, I also realized probably maybe a quarter way in, I was like, oh, is this like supposed to be somehow related to everything? And there are a lot of themes of political commentary on it, which I think is supposed to be the spooky thing about it.
how is that spooky?
Um,
But also, I don't feel like she commented really. There was a lot of implications and like, yeah, I guess you're an immigrant, you hate Trump, cool. But I don't really feel like it went deeper than just the surface level. Trump sucks, you know.
yeah, I mean,
It's fine. Look. I'm not going to sit here and say that I disagreed or whatever. Political commentaries, whatever. It just felt like she didn't have anything to say.
I it's interesting that you say that. I just because I did not think it was poorly written per se. I just felt like it just felt unfinished. Like
Yeah, like I
everything
don't
just
think it
felt
was poorly written
unfinished.
at all. I just think she didn't have anything to tell me.
Or maybe she just didn't have time. Maybe she was on a deadline or something. She
If
had to
that's the
finish this
case,
book
I
and she
feel
was putting
like
it together.
cut it down, put more into different story. I don't know. I will say, I think what summed up how I felt about this book, marked the page because I knew I would forget what it was on. So, and actually, probably the only story that I would say I liked reading, like actually enjoyed, that was the story, was the Idle Hands story, which is basically
The
her getting critiques
critique.
from her
I
various
I
workshops.
agreed with a lot of their commentary.
Well, so it wasn't even that. I just thought it was interesting to see how many different ways somebody could read a thing, right?
Mm,
I thought that was the interesting part of that, was just all of these different people picking out, you could do without this part, and the next person is like, you need to dive deep into that
yeah,
relationship. So I just thought it was kind of funny to see. It's so real life, like everybody can look at something in 100 different ways.
yeah.
But I felt that there was one particular critique that to me summed up my feelings on this whole book as a whole.
Oh, okay.
And it was it was the one it was the critique was by Robert. And it said, most of the characters and relationships feel gestural to me. There is a seed of something interesting there, but it feels schematic. I think what's happening is that this story is mainly interested in ideas rather than the particulars of these characters. But because you tried to give them some meat but didn't go all the way, this story is hovering somewhere in between, not fully developing the characters nor the ideas. And that's sort of how I felt about this book as a whole. It doesn't like pick a lane.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was just weird. It I think it had a lot of potential to be something good,
Yeah.
and she just fell flat. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like an editing issue or experience issue or whatever. But I agree. Like Idle Hands was one of my favorite stories in this book. I also liked um, the anthropophaga one, which means cannibal.
Yeah.
It's the girl with the vending machine.
Yeah, I didn't like that story.
I thought it was interesting.
I guess but see, and that's the thing, like with the idle hands, that critique made me feel like, yes, this is the thing for me. This book doesn't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to resonate with the characters or the idea that you're trying to tell. And so when we go to the anthropomorphaga, I forget the pronunciation since I'm
Yeah.
not looking at it, but when we look at that story, I'm like, okay, you're eating out of this vending machine, and it's like the chips, they're people.
See, the way that
Okay,
I
I
took
guess
that
I just
book,
didn't really know what you're trying. Like, what am I taking from this? It just didn't feel
so
like it was super clear. I didn't hate the idea, but I also felt like it wasn't really like, what is this?
I think, and this is just my take, and I was really reaching for straws here because I wanted it to be something. I think she was a Latin girl who was consuming a lot of like American westernization ideas,
Mm.
and she was like internalizing a lot of it. I
Mm.
do not understand how her abortion and or miscarriage was related to all of that, but I I think a lot of it had to do with American consumption and like the idea, like how hungry people are for American ideologies and stuff, and how it's perceived by immigrants. I don't know. I was reaching for straws because I was like, I think you want to go somewhere with this.
Yeah.
Then they threw in the boyfriend and the miscarriage, and I was like, you lost me. I don't
See,
really know how that.
I don't hate your take. I don't hate that. I just feel like when I read it, I'm like, okay, I don't know. Like, had that been maybe made more clear, I would have been like, all right, cool. Like, I don't. It's
But
so to me, it wasn't that this book was full of bad ideas. I just felt like they weren't executed at all because,
yeah,
yeah, I could see some themes of, and perhaps because I don't have a lot of experience with, I'm not an immigrant, and I don't necessarily have like deep ties to that. Maybe I'm missing something just as a surface level reader of this. Maybe it's not something that I just would pick up on. But I just thought like, no, I don't think you're like getting there. Because I
yeah.
would have appreciated, her take on things. It's not like I'm just closed off to that, but I just felt like she didn't really.
Yeah, I think she had a lot of ideas. It kind of felt like a brainstorm, honestly, a lot of
Yeah.
times. Because, like, with Rapture, the first story, I wrote that it kind of fell flat. Um, like the whole her meeting the devil thing. I was like, okay, this could
Yeah.
be cool. Also, I didn't really understand how the devil came. She said that she never sees the devil again, but then she evidently does. So,
See, and
and
I
then,
think that's
and
why I didn't really get it. Well, I don't want to say I didn't get it. I think that's why it didn't really click for me how everything was kind of going together until towards the end. I'm like, okay, never mind. like,
yeah, and
I
then
thought these were related, but then I'm like, no, they're not. I guess they are.
yeah.
Here's the devil again, and I didn't.
It literally feels like she put together these ideas. It was supposed to maybe be like a first draft for her to send to her agent, and her agent was like, "Oh, I sent that out."
It felt real rough. Like in a sense of like we need to
This is an
we need
incomplete
to
project.
workshop this a little more.
A lot more.
Yeah,
It was
it wasn't
crazy.
that the subject matter was off putting at all. I just
No.
felt like I didn't get much more than, you know, this
Yeah.
is,
And also,
you've gone back home and your mother says you're like a ghost.
I
Okay.
was literally about to say
He
that. Like,
left it
I thought
there.
that would have been such a cool story, and I was so disappointed by how short it was because I was like, oh my gosh, you're being haunted by your future. Like, people are known for being haunted by their past,
Yeah.
but I was like, let's dig into this, and then it just ends. I was like,
Yeah, and there
what?
may have been a better way to even write it still that concisely, but I'm just like it just didn't ever really get to where I
Yeah,
thought anything needed to go. That was my problem.
and
So
and I
I was
saw
just a
like
little confused.
to which cat is that?
This is our temporary house guest, Baloo.
Okay.
He's a tuxedo cat. He's
Seems
very sweet.
affectionate. Um,
I
but
also didn't, I guess I didn't really care for the devil as a whole. I didn't understand what I
why?
was supposed to take from that. I think because I guess number one, I have a really hard time with humanizing the devil in this way of like he just wants to he just he
Seems
wants
like
to
a good
feel
person.
too, and I'm like, I don't. Is he supposed to be this sympathetic of a character ever? Like, I guess I'm confused. And then he he basically like becomes your boyfriend. Like,
Does he?
remember, there's like at the end, there in the meta part, it's like her boyfriend Peter is in the hospital for COVID, presumably,
Oh, right, yeah.
and he's about to die. He's on a respirator, and the devil literally like goes into him, and he lives. So I'm like, I don't. I guess I'm a little confused on how. That's weird.
It is weird. And I didn't understand because, like, I thought maybe one, I'm incredibly disappointed with like the lack of spookiness of this fucking book. It's
I
crazy.
was too. I kind of was hoping for like a spooky collection of stories. None of
Yeah.
these were spooky unless I'm supposed to be spooked by, I guess, the immigrant experience during Trump and COVID.
Yeah, and I think the scariest one, if you want to call it that, is the ice raids
Yeah.
that they
But
went
that's only
into.
because it's a real thing.
Right, exactly. But like I think the devil, first of all, her writing these stories for the devil is a completely elective
I didn't really understand that
like
either. And
adventure.
that's when like you writing this because the devil wants to feel. And
And he would just like ask and go, "How's your writing going?" And like I don't think he really was that invested in her writing.
no.
And it was just weird that I'm like, "Why did you write these stories?" Because I don't think he cared.
Well, and then it
And
was just like, I'm writing these for the devil, like, for what? Like, I guess I'm just confused. For what?
girl,
Like, for, I never, that never felt clear. And she kept trying to make it like he wanted to be a person. I'm like, but the
yeah, there was a lot
inherent
of like
idea of the devil
ambiguity.
is that he's not this sympathetic character. So I just was like, that's odd to me. I never felt like we got a compelling reason for why she befriended him.
I think maybe, and this is again me reaching for straws because I was like, I don't think you're a bad writer. Just don't think you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Um, I think she was kind of trying to say, um, like there is no, like everyone has like an evil side to them because a lot of her characters that were immigrants who like socially, especially in this like political climate, are perceived as like victims. Like she also showed how like they're struggling internally or in their own lives with their family dynamics and relationship dynamics, and they're not always perceived as being a victim. Like with Ghost, the girl is perceived as like betraying her family because like they want her to go back to Brazil and she's like trying to make a life in America.
Right.
So I was like, maybe you're trying to say that um like these people, yes, they're going through stuff and they are victims, but also that doesn't mean that they're not human and they're also doing stuff to other people. And this whole dichotomy of like good versus evil is all relative to individuals on like a micro level. I'm really just
I guess
trying here.
I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think anything was ever really evil. Like, I guess for me, I don't get evil as like you wanting to make a life in
No,
America.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
didn't
Like
get
the choices
anything.
that they were making, none of them were really bad people. I guess I was confused about. I mean, even the lady that there was the story about the woman who wanted the promotion, and then I guess she basically finds out she's some sort of DEI hire. I mean, it doesn't really make you evil for taking
That's
it,
true.
and it doesn't make you evil for taking it over Eduardo. That's their problem. They didn't want to hire him because he was DACA. That's
Yeah, I
not
think
your
it's more of
fault.
like an ethical
Was it unethical
moral.
though?
It was not, but I think it's like people's personal principles and their like ethical.
Well, these people must be like the best citizens ever if I mean, their ethical boundaries couldn't have been tested by any of these scenarios. What are you supposed to say? I don't want the promotion.
I don't know.
I didn't even understand. That story kind of irritated me too. I didn't
Which
mind
story
it
was
until
that?
the
That
end.
was
It was
oh, it was the
like,
ice raids one, the
huh?
Tropicala.
It probably, yeah. It was like
Yeah,
the girl getting the promotion, and it like,
and it had a weird style because there was timestamps and moon phases in
yes.
each thing, and I was like,
I
what the fuck
didn't.
is
Well,
that?
and it's like you work this hard for this promotion, and then what you find out that in some form they wanted a minority hire. That doesn't mean you didn't have merit. It sounded like you really did deserve it, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to take from this? I guess
Yeah.
I was confused about.
No, I agree. I did make a note here when I got to Tropicala. I wrote, I think these short stories would be good as like film shorts. Because one thing I don't like about short stories, and this is my personal preference, is that I believe that short stories should have a beginning, middle, and end. Because
The good ones do. That's
right,
the
because it's
problem
just
is
like,
people just are not. I just don't think the genre is good right now. I think if you go back like historical books or
mhm,
older books, there are a ton of good short stories because I always enjoyed those the most in English class. But I
yeah.
just don't think people are skilled at writing them
It's
now.
because people are writing to make things into like film or to be on screen. And
Yeah,
the
I
way
just think
that
the
these
genre
are
suffered
written,
for now.
yeah, and the way that these things are written is so that, or at least these short stories, it kind of just throws you into the middle of something without any context. And then also what is off-putting to me is that like it also ends without context, and that really
Right.
only um creates an emotional impact if you're watching that in film, I think.
Yeah.
So like with the whole Tropicala thing with the ice raids, I'm like visually if I saw this in like a very like tight
Hmm.
like girl commuting and whatever on screen, I'd be like, whoa, I could feel the hustle and bustle and like how stressed she is through how they're displaying that on a screen. But reading through it, I'm like, what the fuck are we even talking about? And then her boss, her boss's boss, who doesn't care about her existence and only like hangs out with them when he's bored, and they're like cool with that. That was weird.
I didn't
I
really know. I don't honestly. I kind of checked out of that story, but I think that I don't think she wrote these stories for film. I think this author is actually more of a poet. Like she's received awards for poetry, and I think
Oh,
that's the
has she?
problem is that she's a poet, not a storyteller.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. I mean,
So I
that would
don't
make a lot
think,
more sense.
but that's my
I mean,
issue
is
with the
English her first
genre,
language?
huh?
Is English
Oh,
her first
I don't
language?
know. I don't know. I think she's good enough at English. I didn't have a problem with that. It didn't feel like a translation. I think that
Right, but I think maybe it's like a syntax thing. Like if you don't know how to put like
I don't
sentences together to
know. I
start a
don't
sentence.
know. I didn't look that deep into her background. But I think that but she's a poet, and that's what I mean. Like these people who write short stories now, they're either novelists or they're poets. And I don't think it's always that they're writing for the screen. I think they're just this is not their genre. And
She's a poet and a translator and fiction writer born in Brazil.
and
So
so she's not a short story writer, and that's the issue. Because I
I've
feel
never
like
heard.
people who write short stories, they write short stories. Like they write a lot of them. It's not like, oh, I write novels because it doesn't always work well for you to go from one to the other because you don't know how to end the story. You don't know how to flesh out the story. Like it made so much sense when I read that she was a poet. I'm like, well, that's why some of these just feel unfinished because a poet, you can just stop the poem anytime.
Yeah, but this does it really have a. Yeah, you're right. Because poems don't really need a
They
solid
don't
ending.
need it's a
They're just
snapshot.
words.
Like you don't need
And I do, you know what, too? I think the way that it read, I was like, this reads fine. Because I wasn't confused with or
no.
found it difficult to read. It just,
Didn't
for,
have anything to say to me, but
yeah, no, I get that.
because some of the stories I like the most were the shortest ones. Like Idle Hands, that is simply like
Yeah.
your writer's workshop giving you feedback. I thought that was a very
I
that one was well done, and that played to her strengths. I
I also
also
liked
enjoyed.
Hasselblad, the camera one,
I
the
hated
last
that
one.
story.
You hated it?
I thought
I
it
liked it
dragged.
because it was the
I
feel
thought it
good.
dragged on too much, and I didn't like Act Three of it, or I don't know.
I mean, I didn't think I liked it for the fact that I felt that it was a full story.
I will say it worked, but I just didn't care for it.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%.
The one before that I liked a lot, the Heaven, Hell, and Purgatory. I thought that was an interesting way to describe
What
not
which
only like being dead, but also like her version of purgatory was just like riding this bus and it never got to the stop. There was the story before the camera one, before Hasselbad.
I don't
It was on
remember.
like 135, I believe, but it was called Heaven, Hell, and Purgatory. That one I thought was an effective story.
That's so I like have zero recollection of it.
I mean, it's there were so many. I mean, it probably is fresh in my mind because I just finished it last night, and so obviously those were
Okay.
the last two stories. But basically, there's, she goes through heaven and hell and then purgatory, and it's sort of like a description of what each one, like heaven was a all-inclusive resort.
Mm.
um,
Okay, yeah, this is starting to sound
and then
familiar.
hell was her visiting her friend that was dying, and then purgatory, or was that purgatory, I don't know. It was interesting though, because basically the purgatory story ended up being like her riding this bus that never got to the stop. So I just
Yeah,
thought it was kind of a creative way to describe each of the three, and it actually had a beginning, middle, and end.
yeah.
It was a full story.
That's hilarious. This is like the first time we're like on the same page about a book, which I'm very happy about.
Well, as you can see, this is like the third book you found to be mediocre or less. So I
Well,
just had to
I
start
gave
getting
it
on the
a
same page of them being mediocre.
I gave it a 3.5 because I do think that if she wrote more books or more stories, she could get better. And I
I
didn't
mean,
have an
she
issue with
could.
the writing. Like, you know what
I
I mean? I had
I
issue
wasn't
with the
grading for
execution.
potential.
Well, it's not. I feel like the roles are reversed
But I
today.
love that for you.
I feel like I'm not rating for potential, but like I didn't mind reading it.
I
I
didn't.
like
I mean, it was less than 200 pages. So if there was any book that I was going to feel like I wouldn't have normally finished, but I finished it anyway, I'm glad that it was this one. It was not like a huge time investment. I would give it 3 stars
oh, you
because,
gave it
yeah,
okay.
no, I wasn't getting ready to say like one or two. I gave it three because I do feel like she's a good writer. I just
Yeah.
don't feel like it was. I don't think it was finished. Like I wish she
Yeah.
would have just fixed some of these stories so they had something to say. That's all.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it was disappointing as far as just like
It wasn't spooky either.
it wasn't spooky and I felt like she could have made it spooky. It was not that hard to make it spooky and
Devil's in the title.
introspective.
It needs to be a
Right.
little creepy.
I agree. Um and I was really reaching for straws to justify the incompleteness of it because I didn't
Yeah.
mind the writing because like I'm more critical of writing and writing style than I am of like the story.
See, I feel like that's super subjective though, especially writing style. Like sometimes you just don't like a writing style, but it's not bad.
No, I
I
don't
don't
know. I
know.
mean,
I'm
if
not an
it's,
English teacher, so unless
I
it's
mean,
just like so
neither am
poorly
I.
written, I'm not gonna be like, wow.
I feel like if it's a writing style, like I can get behind most writing styles. Like I hate stream of consciousness. I could understand and appreciate what it is and deal with it, and it's not my preference. But if something's written in the form of stream of consciousness, but it's still written well, I could appreciate that.
I don't mind stream of consciousness. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think it's all to me. It's just like, do you have something to say? Do you have a story to tell, and can you effectively tell it? I can forgive, if the
Okay,
book is
but
a
like
little slow, but I ultimately felt like there was a lot to say, a good theme. This book, there were many stories where I'm like, I don't really know what you want me to take from this. Like, I really don't.
I think
Because even how you're like,
I
here's my take, and
disagree.
I'm reaching for straws. If I have to reach for straws, I have like, is that what you wanted me to take? Like I'm reading about
I think she was trying
you
to talk
eating
about like
chips,
her
and the
political
chips are in the
identity.
form of people that you've encountered.
What'd you say? What was the last
It's like
part?
I'm reading a story about you eating chips from a vending machine, and the chips are people you've encountered.
I don't
I
know that she
don't
encountered those people. I think
know.
she
I felt like
was
they were people.
consuming like
It seemed like they were
American.
all representations of like some sort of something that had happened or whatever.
I mean, there
The
were like
last one was her
counselors, nurses, but she was getting eaten.
by herself.
Was she?
She ate herself. That was the last one.
I don't know that she did. She
Well, that was
felt
the
like I
last
think she
trip with
fell through the
herself.
vending machine. See, I don't know. That's not what I took. I thought someone. I thought she was
That was the last
using.
one. She was couldn't. She was like, I have to go because she was trying not to go to the vending machine, and then she went, and the last one, it was her.
I don't remember remember that.
I vividly remember that because I saw it coming and I was like, well, I don't really know. I guess, okay, they don't really know what you want from me on
I
this
thought she
story.
just like kind of fell down the vending machine and she was like, I didn't take it as like she ate herself, but like I guess that could be a thing too.
Well, she
I
like
don't
took the
know.
chip out and it was her. That's why I was confused, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think I kind of get. I think there were supposed to be political undertones there. I think
I
she
mean,
meant to have
I
like,
think there were too, but they were pretty obvious. I mean, you're literally like ice. Of course, there's political undertones, COVID, yeah, I mean, they're pretty obvious.
yeah, maybe overtones is the right word.
And I don't have a problem with that, but I'm like, okay, but are you saying, I guess I was confused because I'm like, am I just reading this because I'm supposed to then understand, like, yeah, I guess it would be tough to be an immigrant when Trump was president? Okay, what else? I don't know, because some of it just goes without saying, so that's why I'm like, I don't disagree.
Yeah, and I think also what makes it more, I guess, disappointing is that because she probably wrote it during COVID or started writing it during COVID or
Yeah.
whatever, that means she had like 5 years to like clean this up.
And that's kind of what is disappointing. Like, I don't know. I just felt like, were you just rushing to get a timely book out here?
It seems like it, or someone published this by accident. Like it just doesn't look like it should have been what it
Right.
was. And like I
So,
don't know if I
yeah.
was the editor or whatever, if I was her agent, and I read that, and I was like, "There's not one fucking scary story in here. You need to take this back."
Devil's in the title. I expected, like, at least the Rapture story was somewhat creepy. Like, or somewhat weird, I guess. The one where she, like, slept with the devil.
Oh yeah, but again, I felt like her sleeping with the devil. Like I thought that's when he was gonna be like, "You have to write these super scary stories for me." And honestly, like I don't know, I feel like she had a lot of potential because like, even if you wanted to make like this is so scary because it's real, because I feel like
I just felt like it should have been more clear.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like she could have spent more time on fleshing that out because and I think she has all the tools to do it. She just kind of did not.
Yeah.
And it just left me feeling underwhelmed by every single story. I did like the vending machine one because I thought it was weird, but
I didn't have a
I don't
problem
know.
with it being weird. I just felt like I wasn't clear on what exactly I was supposed
Oh
to
no,
take
for
from it. You
sure.
know
It
what I
was just
mean? Like,
nonsense.
because I don't have a problem with weird stuff. I was hoping it'd be a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And I guess I felt like from the jump, just make it clear why you're writing these stories. And that's why over the course of the book, I'm like, so we trying to humanize the devil? Are we trying to be like, let's help him get a soul by writing him stories? He loves stories. That's all I ever got was he loves stories. Okay.
But did he? I felt like he seemed very
Well, I
just
don't know if he did,
interested.
but that's what she said.
Yeah, I think it was like a narrative she created with these
Right.
random interactions. There was one scene in it that I was just so confused by. It was like her and her husband. I don't know if they went on vacation or her boyfriend or whatever. They went on vacation or something, and her husband was sleeping in the or sick. I don't remember, but the TV went on, and she like wanted the devil to be on the TV, and then there was like some static situation, and she was like, "Oh, the devil's here," and I'm like, "What's happening?"
I'm pretty sure that was the one where he died and the devil like breathed his own life into him. And I was just like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, because then I was sitting there thinking like, would I even want my husband to be revived by the devil?
I mean, I think she did. I think she was really
Like
into
that
him.
that kind of was strange to me. Was
Yeah,
like you're
there was like some
romanticizing this. Like now I feel
sexual
like your
tension.
boyfriend husband is demon possessed. What? Like I don't. I guess that's why I just had such a hard time with it. She never made it clear why she was writing these stories for him, and I'm like, the devil's like not usually a character that's like benevolent and misunderstood, right? Because
Never
even in
really
that
had to
same
think
story,
about
it's
it.
like the devil knew we'd need vaccines, and the devil knew what the cure was, but nobody listened to him. What? Like, number one, are you shocked that no one listened to the devil? And number two, why? Why would I feel like, oh man, if only they had just like, I just don't. Why am I supposed to think? That was weird to me. Like that was so bizarre. If only they listened to him.
Oh
What?
my god.
I mean, they literally. She waxed poetic about it in a way where the devil's like, I tried to tell him. Who did you try to tell and how? You're the devil. What? So I'm like, this book is pissing me off.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't understand. Whatever, man.
Oh my
That's why I was like, and by that time I'm like getting near the end, so I'm like, was all this supposed to just make me feel bad? Like I'm supposed to,
god. I don't
maybe I should
know.
listen to the devil more. I don't get it.
I thought it was alright. Like I didn't really have a problem with it.
I
I didn't have
didn't hate it, but I was just like, I don't think maybe I'm not getting it. So that's why I was like,
no. I think it was just not executed well. But like I think it's hilarious that your reaction to it was that like it kind of like pissed you off because
because I
I
didn't
didn't.
get it. I'm pissed off because I don't
I
get
don't.
it. Not because
I
I
don't think it
thought
was
she
anything to
just,
get. I just
did
think
it
it was.
wrong, but I'm like, girl, please make me, help me understand.
She couldn't, but that's the thing. That was the thing. Like she just didn't do a good job, and I was like, oh okay, she didn't do a good job. But like you were like, what the fuck? And
I
I
mean,
think
I'm
that's funny.
surprised but I'm surprised you took it in stride because you usually don't. You're usually like, that sucked. What a terrible job of execution.
Well, because I felt like she had, and you know what? Because I usually don't. I don't know. I felt like the writing was fine, and
I think it was fine. I just think she didn't really illustrate her points.
she didn't. But I think she tried to do it in ways that I like kind of saw what she was going for
Yeah,
in
what
some
is that you
regards. So I
kind of
didn't mind it
saw?
as much, huh?
Kind of saw. See, that's
Yo,
what's funny
you're
because I
always
feel like
giving so
it's
much
no
praise, and now
different
that
than when
I'm
I'm like,
doing
well, I see what he was going for. Didn't quite get there, but I see it.
you did that for the first book.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I saw what he was going for, and you're like, I kind of sort of see. So now it's different. Like I guess I'm just confused about how you're like so okay. I don't look. I gave it 3 stars because
Stop
I
it.
feel that it's really not a horrible book. I just don't think she's suited for short stories. There were some stories I did really enjoy. I named a couple. I think there were maybe 3 or 4 that I thought were fine, executed well. I didn't have an issue with it. I just the overall meta theme didn't work for me because I don't think that made much sense.
I like the meta part. I felt like the meta part was probably my favorite thing. Honestly, the meta part is what was its saving grace for me. You know,
I think that the idea of it is fine. I just don't think she did anything with it. Like there
I
was
think
no
it was
real
showing
clear to me. There was no clear like
narrative.
yeah.
No,
So it's
I
like it
think
wasn't that she did the meta part. It was what are you trying to tell me here? You
see
never
this is
told me
what
why you're writing the devil stories. I don't really understand if your husband is just revived or if the devil now lives in him. It's unclear.
bruh.
Because it was just like it just felt like cool idea here, but what's the storytelling?
So
What's the point?
here's my takeaway about the meta thing that I
Are
appreciated.
you reaching for straws here? Or are you
No,
okay?
no, I'm not reaching for straws here. This is why I think it's the saving grace
Okay,
here. And I'm sorry for the sirens in the background.
no, it's fine.
But so I think it was its saving grace because it was like the most honest and transparent part. I think it showed how she was genuinely struggling to write the book. I think the stories are not complete. They're not executed well, but the meta part is kind of tying in together that like she has shit going on in her life and it's she's struggling to put it together, and that was my takeaway. And that's why I was like, my first impression was like, this seems like writer's block. Like she has these solid foundation for stories, but she's like she just seems to have a lot of shit going on, where she's clearly struggling to put it together. So for me, I was like, okay, this is like the most honest and transparent part of the book, that you kind of know that this book is trash. And also, Idle Hands was like a clear, like, you keep getting feedback. Like, I think the feedback part that she kept getting throughout the story were real pieces of feedback she was getting in real life about the stories.
So basically, what I'm hearing is, and you can correct me if I'm incorrect. What I'm hearing is, I read a book about this woman's writer's block in which she openly knows she's giving us. Let me look at the table of contents here because I want to make sure I get it right. She's giving us one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine unfinished work. But it's okay because she's going to have some excerpts after them to let us know, hey, I know these aren't really great. Maybe they shouldn't even be published. But
Oh
this
my god.
meta narrative is going to tell you that that is what I intended, is for you to read my unfinished works and understand my writer's block. Is that feels like what I'm hearing? If that's the case, that's fine. Tell me that in the beginning. Don't let me get to the end and be like, all these stories were kind of like not done. I'm not sure I can find beauty in that at the end after feeling like it took me a long time to get through these. Tell me you don't have shit to say at the jump. And then I can appreciate it for what it is, going through that journey with you.
Oh my god.
I feel that had she said that at the outset, I may have appreciated it more. But I'm reading this whole book only to be like, so you have writer's block.
Yeah, I guess. I guess
That
that
feels
is.
like that feels cheap to me. Again, she's not a horrible author. I give it 3 stars because I'm sure somebody out there really liked. They probably
Resonated.
really liked it, and maybe that honesty and transparency resonates more with others. But that's why I gave it a 3. I didn't think it was. I by no means think it was the worst book I've ever read. I just feel like if that's the route that it was taking, you shouldn't expect people to finish that book. Like by the third, fourth story, I'm like, I just feel like she don't really know what she's trying to say. So the meta is not really keeping me engaged by being like, but wait, I have writer's block. It was just a
I mean,
little
it wasn't keeping
confusing
me
in that way.
engaged, but like I appreciated it because I felt like it was transparent, and like
I
I
appreciate
think it
the
was her way of
transparency,
saying like you don't need to finish this book if you felt like it sucked, because I get it.
but I'm just saying, like, I think that I don't think it sucked. I just think if that's the overarching theme, that's a little unfair to your reader in the name of honesty. Like, hey, well, I guess you should have realized writer's block. Like, I feel like that's kind of a cheap. It feels like a cop out in a way, like
Yeah.
to publish something like that. I guess that's my issue. It's not like the honesty's fine. Sure. I don't know that I just inherently feel like a lot of writers are dishonest. I guess I just feel like any work you're putting out, it should be like uh, like it should be finished. I don't know. It feels like she was like, "Here's my rough draft," because yeah, I needed to do something. So I don't know that I can appreciate it. I might have appreciated it at a reading had she said this, or kind of given you that impression. I feel like for me to have to read the whole thing to have it be a takeaway is a little bit. It's a little unfair. I like your take. That's a nice optimistic viewpoint. I can get behind it.
Thank you. And
Just
I,
wanted to make sure I understood what we're agreeing here too. I just felt like she was more talented than what we were given.
oh, a
It
hundred and ten
wasn't like
percent.
I'm pissed off at this book in general. I'm just like it just felt like it was a lot more promising than what we were given.
A
And
hundred.
so
Yeah,
I
I
was
agree
just
with that 100%.
disappointed that
Because
I didn't get more from these stories is all. Or that
yeah,
it
as I
wasn't
was
just a
reading through
novel
it,
to
I felt the
express.
same way.
Yeah. Or that it wasn't just a novel to express these things.
Yeah, she could have chose one story
Like
and
she
just like
could have
went with
just
it and
done
did it.
more with, yeah, one theme and just chapters or a couple of these and like, because these characters, I felt like they all probably could have had some way of being in the same story,
Yes.
but no, that's all. It
Maybe,
wasn't.
she could literally, I think what if I were her, I would I'd make separate books for each of these short stories and I would just elaborate and flesh out each story.
I can see
I
that
feel
being
like that's an
better.
opportunity she could have for this book because it's not poorly written
Yeah,
and it's like a good draft and I think she could literally take every short story here and flesh it out into like a short novel for each of them.
yeah. Or even if I think also even if some of these, a lot of these, for a lot of these stories, even if not every single one, if you had one book and all of the short stories were the same character, it's just like different phases of their life or different, where it doesn't have to have that novel thread, but
Mm.
just different pieces of this person's life that could have also worked.
Yeah, especially because it seems like it's some type of reflection of her own life.
That exactly. So I'm like, if you had written it in a way where, at one point you're talking about this promotion or like the camera story, you're talking about the
Yeah.
time you had overseas, like it could have worked as a collection of short stories that were related.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a missed opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I gave it a 3.5 stars.
I just gave it a
Uh,
three. I usually just do round numbers, I feel.
I give it half because I liked the writing and I think it had a lot of potential. And when I give something a three, I have a lot more criticism for it.
Yeah,
So
three is like you hated it.
I did not hate it. I never hate a three. I just did not love it.
I mean, a three for me is truly, it's a C.
It's a C for me too.
But I'm saying if I'm going into the four, we're getting into the B range. We're like, it's a solid book.
Yeah. I feel like we're on the same. I don't know. I feel like we
I
just
feel like
agree.
it's a lot harder for you to give like a B though. And
And I think it should
it's
be
a
a lot
lot
harder for me
easier
to.
for you to give like an F or a D. That's the issue.
I don't think it's
Like
an issue.
it feels like there's like two things can go wrong before it's at F or D level, whereas like 10 things need to go right before we're at the B level. And then the book has to be perfect for it to be
No,
5 out of 5.
that's no, because I recently gave a 5 stars to a
Yeah, I
book.
feel like because it has to be perfect. No notes.
I didn't
One
know I was doing
note. Oh, we're already down at the 3.5 stars. Two notes. Woo!
it. Okay, but the notes that I had for the last books, they were huge jarring
That's
issues.
fine. And I look. I'm not. I look. You grade however you
And
want.
I think, you know what? No, I think the thing is, it's very easy for, it's not for, I wouldn't say it's easy for things to get to like an F or a D. I think the thing is, it's very easy to get to a three. And if you don't do those basic things, like if you don't have the basic components of a book, you cannot get a three for me.
See, everyone starts at 3.
And that is wild to me.
Because I'm assuming every book is just every C. Every book is average.
No.
Every book is
I
at
think
least
everyone starts
average.
at like the level, even
That's my
level playing
baseline.
field.
Is I expect it
And
to
if
be
you,
perfectly mid. Now, if it goes up, yay. If it goes down, that's fine too.
but the fact that it like it's so, and my issue with your rating is that it's so fucking hard for it to go down.
I don't think so.
It is. You have not given anything below a three,
Well, we're
and
not
you've
reading.
read
You
a
haven't
lot
read
of
anything
good.
that I thought was just purely terrible.
The first book was really bad, and it's
I
crazy to
thought it
me
was
that like
mid. You know?
it was worse than mid. I think we could just agree that it was worse than mid, and I just don't know why you're giving it
That
grade.
one at least had a clearer POV.
But this was like short stories. We knew who were like we knew whose perspective we were like reading from.
No, I meant POV as far as like what they had to say. Now, this book, I felt like I'm making concessions for her because I felt like it was a promising venture. It didn't get there.
You know what? I don't know. I just feel like for me,
You
it's
get
like
you put a lot of stock on like the writing and what you feel is good or bad writing. I just am looking at more of the story, and I think, yeah, if it's poorly written enough, yeah, I'll notice it and be irritated. But I'm not by and large just like it has to be pretty bad for me to be like it was so poorly written that I just couldn't overlook anything.
hmm.
And I feel like for you, if you deem something to be poorly written, it's like I can't even get past. I can't even.
So you know what it is? I think it's like the difference between um watching a show like Succession versus like watching a show like New Girl, right? Like you could appreciate New Girl for what it is because it's just like a kind of a gimmicky sitcom that's supposed to be like surface level and like
Right.
funny, and it's not that deep. They have like the normal tropes of what's supposed to happen with a group of friends living in a big city in a loft or whatever. Whereas like a show like Succession has like a lot more layers. It's supposed to be more sophisticated. The
Right.
dialogue is more complex. The things that they talk about are more complex. It's just like a different level. Those shows are different styles of shows, but you could appreciate it for what it is. But a show like New Girl, like for example, what's a show like? There's that show with the two servers. Have you seen that show? I don't
An
know. I've never
old
actually.
show.
I don't know if it's old, but it's just like not. I don't find it funny. Um, I forget. I don't even know what it's called. But the point is, it's like it's supposed to kind of be within that genre of New Girl, but I think it's poorly executed because it's just like
But if you don't think it's funny, that doesn't mean it's poorly executed. It could just be not your style of humor.
I do not disagree.
Like everything is not going to be funny to everyone.
Right, but I
That
also
doesn't mean
think
that it's
that
poorly executed.
I don't know. It's like Tyler Perry movies are not executed well, but like people like it.
Yeah, but I don't know that anybody's arguing. Not, I don't think most people are arguing that that's like objectively well written.
I think people are.
I mean,
That's like a style thing. Like I feel
I
like
don't
if
know
you
if
just
the
don't like Tyler
majority of
Perry
viewers
movies,
are watching Tyler Perry because they think it's like they find it entertaining. They're not saying it's like
no,
some
there
work
are
of.
people out there,
There
Danielle, that
are a
like
few
entertain
people,
it.
but they're.
I
I
don't
don't
know
think
about
that's representative.
there's a whole bunch of people who literally are like, this is art.
I mean, I
This
guess
is
it's
cinema. There's
technically a
people who
form of
literally feel
art.
that about Tyler Perry, and then they will say to us, "Well, just because it's not your style doesn't mean that it's not done well." People literally wait for Tyler Perry's next blockbuster movie or whatever to come out on Netflix or do whatever just so that they could watch it to like literally like sit around and talk about it because they think it's so good, and they will tell us that it's just not our taste, and I don't think that's true. I think it's just poorly done.
Well, I think that if a book is Tyler Perry level, I would notice it. I haven't read anything yet that I felt was Tyler Perry level. I guess I'll say that. When I get to the Tyler Perry level of book, I will let you know that yes, that was poorly written.
Fine, but that but essentially is what I'm trying to say is that like sometimes it is about style, but like
I just feel like we haven't really hit the Tyler Perry level of
I don't think
book.
we have either. I'm not saying we have either, but I'm just saying like there's different tiers, and yeah, it's partly preference, but also I think there's things where I could enjoy it for what like for Dungeon Crawler Carl, I did not hate it, but like I just don't think it's that good of a book.
I think that's fine. I guess I'm saying now that I don't feel was Tyler Perry level of
I don't
writing
think it was Tyler
to be
Perry
like
level
it was
either.
poorly written.
I love
I
that
just think
that
it's
was the
more
that was the
style
level with you.
preference.
Oh my god. No, yeah, like I think it's just it's a matter of preference, but also I think there's just like appreciating things for what it is. I am pretty critical of how things are written. Um but it's not necessarily just like my preference. Like I appreciate it for what it is. I
Yeah.
appreciate the game and the craft of writing. And I don't have to necessarily like the style of writing for me to appreciate the book. Um, but that's the takeaway, and it's not hard for it to go. it's not hard for books to get to a 3 for me.
See, I just feel like
But
we're already there. Because I feel like for me, if I like the journey that I went on, or if I was sufficiently entertained, that's enough to say that it would still be a three, even if I'm like, he's not a very good writer. I mean, I just still enjoyed the outcome. Like I either enjoyed what you're trying to say, or I thought I liked the characters. Something about it I liked, but I'll leave it at a three because no, it was not the best written book in my opinion. But this book I felt was the opposite, where I feel like it left a lot to be desired for me in the general enjoyment and like overall, like what are you trying to say department. But I feel the author is talented enough that I think it's well written enough. It's not a waste of your time to read. And I think that I could see other people resonating more with it than myself. So I feel it deserves, it's still in that three, where I would never be like, don't read it. I'd just be like, it was okay. So to me, it's like kind of there's two sides of it. Now, if you hit on both, now we're talking four and five.
I feel like a 4 and 5, I have like zero notes. Like I'm like, whoa, I had the best time ever. I'm laughing out loud. I'm smiling when I'm like having this book in my hand. Like I'm having the best time ever. That's when I'm rating something a
I
5.
had a good time reading the last book. That's why I gave it a four or four and a half, whatever I gave it.
Yeah.
It was four, somewhere in the 4 or 5 range. I enjoyed reading
You
it.
gave it a 4.
Yeah,
And
I enjoyed reading it, and I didn't think it was just so badly written that it would like detract from.
when you like give like ratings to restaurants, do you give them all 5s?
No,
Or they're like, give us a feedback score. Do you just give them 5 stars?
no. But if I do, well, any feedback I'm leaving on Google, which my reviews are quite helpful actually. I like get all these badges for my reviews, so I'm glad you asked. I generally give a very detailed review about the service, the food, all of those things. So some multiple restaurants could be fives though, yeah.
So do you give out like 5s pretty willy-nilly for a
No,
restaurant?
I mean, if your service was good and your food was good, then I would give you a five. I don't see a reason not to. I don't need to go like 5 times to make sure it was, you know.
Hmm. See, if I'm giving a 5 stars, it's like my favorite place.
No, see, I feel like for a restaurant review, because I basically, if I give you a five, I want other people to know, like, you could go here. And it depends how much I had too. Like, did we have appetizers? Did we have entree and dessert and drinks? Everything was good. I'm gonna give you a five because I want people to know, like, there's a wide range of things you could order. Everything was executed well. I had great service. 5 out of 5. I'm recommending it for people to go.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I
Okay.
don't understand. Like, it doesn't have to be the best meal of my life.
It doesn't have to be the best meal of my life, but I have to like really love this place.
I
Like
give it a five.
if
I
I
just
give
think is everything was up to par. Like, I think,
see the thing is if I'm rating a restaurant, it's not the first time I've been there. It has to be like the 4 or 5th time. If I'm rating any
well,
establishment,
a lot of times I
honestly.
rate them out of town. Like, I went here. I'm out of, like, I'm on vacation. We decided to have dinner here. It was a wonderful experience, blah, 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 blah. I
See, I don't
usually
feel
am
like I
doing
have
it
enough
that way.
of an
I want other
experience
people
for
to
my
know, like, if
us.
you're in, they, like, come here.
Yeah, I need at least 2 or 3 times of me frequenting somewhere before I'm like, let me give you a rating
Oh, no, it's
because
not that
I just
serious.
I like if I was like traveling somewhere and I go to some place every time and I've had like consistent service, I'm like I feel like I should give a review because like this is a really solid place. If
Oh,
I went somewhere
no.
once, that's like an isolated experience for me,
Yeah,
and I'm
I'm
like,
giving
oh
you,
no, if
but
that
you're
would be
reading it knowing that.
I don't I mean
I don't read any review and assume that that person has been there multiple times unless they say that in their review.
but those are the reviews I look for.
Yeah,
Like if
there's a
someone's like, oh,
lot
I was
less of
just in
those
town, I
though.
dismiss it
I'm not trolling through
immediately.
like 88 reviews. Because see, here's the thing. I'm willing to go to any restaurant that has an average of over 4 stars. I I will go because that means that enough people have either had a one time or multiple time experience that was good. So that means the food's probably gonna be solid. Like if and that's why for me, I don't want to I don't like to go that deep. If I had a good experience, I'm going to say, I came here for this occasion, loved it, blah, blah, blah. Because if I'm giving you a 3 now, I'm like fucking with your whole score off of one experience. Like, I'd rather.
I don't know.
Because
Like,
I honestly, I would not leave a review if I had, unless it was like, I really felt like you guys needed to know how awful this was. If it was just okay, I usually just don't leave a review.
hmm. I mean, I typically don't leave reviews unless I have a horrible experience.
And see, I like to leave reviews for good experiences because so few people want to do that. Most people only leave reviews when they had a terrible time. So I like
Right.
to leave reviews when I had a good time so that people like, okay, yeah, and I like to leave more than just the star so people know why I had a good time.
I feel like if I see more than like if I see an average of 4 stars and up on a restaurant or something, I generally will go, but I do like to read the comments because I do want to hear about people who go there multiple times. And I get that like
I just
not
look at the
leaving.
recent ones. If all of your most recent reviews are high, that's fine. That's all I need. That means like if 50 people have come one time in the last few months and
How
they have,
recent do you go back?
huh?
How recent do you go back?
I don't know. I just go back a few months. Like if within the last few months everything is super positive, I don't care if those people only went one time. That means you're consistent enough that all these unique people had really good things to
You
say.
know what? That's a perspective that I will consider in my views when I look for
So I think
things.
that's why, like for me, when I look at reviews, I'm just looking to see like, did a whole bunch of people have this same feeling over the past couple months? It's good enough for me. That
I left a review at my local CVS because I was like so upset by like this one cashier.
local PBS. I'm so sorry. That is like one of the last places that I would
And then the store manager like
review.
recognized me and like apologized.
Like I'm just like y'all know what you're getting at CVS. That's the last place I would review.
No, my CVS by me is like so trifling. Like it's honestly the worst place ever. There's always chaos. There's always drama. This cashier
Whew.
does not care for me, but I don't care for her either. She's so dumb, and every time she's she does the most. She always
Yeah.
holds up the line, and it's so annoying. And then every time people start complaining, I'm like, she does this every time. And I can see she's getting so upset with me. And I'm like literally riling people up online. I'm like, this is her all the time. I'm here every week. I see her do this shit all day.
Oh
And
my
they're like, what? This is crazy. They let this happen. I'm like, I know. I left a review.
god. Wow.
Oh my god, I can't stand her. She's so freaking annoying.
That is funny.
Yeah. But
It takes
anyway, all
all
right, let's
kinds.
do
It
this.
takes all kinds.
Yeah. Well, that concludes this month's episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. We'd love to hear your takes, whether that be about the book we read or how we made some errors or omissions. Um, please leave your thoughts in the comments. Please share and or gatekeep whatever. We'll definitely change if we get famous. So do what you will with that information. And then for those who want to follow along, we'll be reading. What are we reading next?
I believe
Oh,
service.
Service.
Yeah, service.
We'll be reading Service by John Tottenham next month, and I'll probably post in the channel when the next episode will be released. But you essentially have a month to finish it. So thanks for joining. Bye.
Happy reading.